a graduate assistant right now that's been with me going into our third season now. So I got him where I want him. He's a good one. I mean, his name's Johnny Brewer, and Johnny Brewer is going to make somebody one hell of a football coach. And he's getting great training right now because he's my voice a lot of times on the field, and that helps.
I'm sorry if you've already been asked this, but can you just talk about when you found out that you might have a problem?
Well, I kind of had an idea over the course of the summer, but I didn't know for sure. And I knew the Thursday, let me think. I found out for sure that I had a problem about 10 days before camp started, somewhere in that neighborhood, the Thursday before. And I was able to get in and see an ear, nose, and throat guy, and he got me on the surgery list and got me going. And I guess I had the surgery on Wednesday before camp, and then we started practice that following Tuesday. So you can do the math there and work back. I don't know the exact dates, but it was I had the surgery done about 6 days before we started practice. And, the way I looked at it, I had the surgery done on a Wednesday. I had Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night before I had to really use my voice, and I figured, heck, I ought to be able to recover from that.
Was it a little easier thought out than actually done?
No, it hadn't been easy. I got to admit it hadn't been easy. It's not, and I'd be lying if I told you that this has been a piece of cake, because it hadn't been. But it is what it is.
No matter what the prognosis, nobody wants to hear what you heard, that you got a malignant.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear that.
Was it scary?
When I went into that hospital, first of all, I didn't know if I was going to, I knew what they were about to do to me. I knew what they were about to do to my mouth. I knew what they were about to do to my throat. But there was always the fear of the unknown, that they'd find something else, microscopic cancer in my lymph nodes. And that was, you get nervous about that. I admit it. And when I found out that, that it wasn't there, and I wasn't going to have any chemo, or I wasn't going to have any radiation, that was a big lift, And then it's just a matter of now of being able to, it's sort of like my daddy told me a long time ago. I was complaining about something when I was playing ball when I was young, and he turned around to me and he said, "It'll feel good when it quits hurting." That made sense to me. You're right. So quit griping and move on.
You have now come back in. How long did having a heart stent keep you out for one practice at 2 a days?
That wasn't anything. That one was easy. This one right here's hard, man.
Now you come back from this. I mean, how do you do all that?
I don't have little minor problems. When it all breaks down, it goes. I got to have a complete overhaul. I'm not one of these that has little minor stuff. We go ahead and go for the major stuff.
That no yelling mandate for not.
I have not done well with that. I'll be honest with you. I've not done well with it. And as soon as it happens, I pay the price. I've had a couple of times there during the course of this practice where I've gotten too animated. I know it, and I've got to quit doing that. Otherwise, I won't heal. So I'm trying to do better. I need to do better.
Let's talk about the response you've received from Auburn people and from your coworkers.
Oh, it's been excellent.
Players.
I mean, people. The bottom line is, and I said this a while ago, Philip. There's no other profession where one entity depends on another entity. In my opinion, more than the coaching profession. I say that, I'm a coach. But, I got people depending on me. I got players depending on me. I got other coaches depending on me that I do my job just like I depend on them to do their jobs. And if one entity fails, then it affects the entire organization on a high level. And you just can't have that, you just can't have that. And, it is what it is. That's the way I would say most of us as coaches are wired up. You're wired that way. And you can't help it. I would feel worse if I didn't do it.
Right.
I would feel worse if I didn't do it. Sometimes I don't want to go to church. I want to sleep in. But I never walked out of church saying, boy, I wish I hadn't done that.
Right.
I'm glad I did. And it's the same way with what I'm doing right now. I'm glad I'm doing it. It ain't exactly a bed of roses, but I'm glad I'm doing it.
You have a good prognosis for the season, but more importantly for your health?
Yes, absolutely. I'm cancer-free, and I'm doing good. I just got to heal from these wounds. I got some wounds, and they'll heal. They'll heal.
Were you ever scared at any point, JB?
I got a little nervous. I knew what they were going to do to me, and it, right, but there was some false bravado there, I'll be honest with you, but it was false. I was nervous about it. I was nervous about it because anytime a wise man told me one time, minor surgery is when it happens to somebody else, okay? Well, this wasn't exactly minor, and I was nervous, but it is what it is.
When the players found out about the prognosis and the timeliness in relation to camp, how was their reaction and their outreach and their response?
Well, it was heartwarming. I don't think they realized because I really understated it, to be honest with you, when I told them I didn't want to scare them. I didn't want to scare those kids. They got enough on their plate without worrying about me. And I went through the timetable with them Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. I've got some time to recover from this. Of course, they didn't realize the extent of it. And then they saw me and they went, but I'd already gone through it by then. So, but they've been really, really good. These kids have been good. I got good room. Let's get off me and start talking about these kids.
Well, speaking of football, speaking of your guys, how's camp been?
It's gone well. It's gone well. I think we've got some guys. I think we've got a chance to have a really good offensive line. I think we've got a chance to have maybe more depth than we've had in the past with some quality starters. So I'm feeling good about this group. I like this group. This is a good bunch of kids, and I've said that since I've been here. I inherited good kids, and then we brought in some good kids, and we brought in some good football players, and I like coaching this group of guys.
So who's going to start?
That's a good question. I'm certain that Sean Coleman's going to start. I'm certain that Avery Young's going to start. And I'm certain that Braden Smith is going to start. From there, I'd say we're a work in progress with Devontae Danzy and Alex Kozan because of, both of those guys are coming back from some things. And then we're having a good running battle with the center position. Austin had a little setback in camp. We held him for a couple of days. But, both those guys are having good camps.
Is that closer maybe than people realize? I mean, a lot of people assume that it's going to be Austin.
It's a little bit closer than people understand, and
same thing with Kozan and
Danzy too. Absolutely. I mean, this is one of those situations where, I know right now Devontae Danzy's had a good camp, and Alex is coming back from a hard surgery himself. He hasn't played a lot of football in a year, and so he's a work in progress. So, but what we're doing right there is we're building depth. And that's a real positive.
Can you see yourself rotating any guys
of course, Coach Malzahn makes all the substitutions. We all know that, okay? And but I could see us playing more people and not having a big drop off in a game.
JB, we're all